Holy Week greetings to the entire St. Raphael and Our Lady of the Valley community, and in a special way to our faith formation community with our children on the elementary level, junior high, high school, for young adults, for adults who are not so young, for all of you who are viewing this message. Greetings as we enter into our holiest days. Holy Week is perhaps the apex, the highest point of our church's year, and this year it is perhaps the most unusual Holy Week that we will have ever experienced. Being under the mandate of the stay-at-home order during the coronavirus, it's essential that we all stay connected to our Catholic faith and our Catholic heritage, especially during these, our most important days. We're about to enter the Easter Triduum, marking the events of the life-giving death and glorious resurrection of Jesus, and it's the events that define who we are as a Catholic Christian people. As a Catholic people, our highest priority ought to be participation in Mass on Sunday days and holy days, and especially these special days that we're about to embark upon. And yet this year, because of the coronavirus, we are not to gather together again as a Christian community in the flesh, in person. So we have to take advantage of every opportunity to reach out to you, and we ask that you continue to reach out to us, that we might be able to share these days together. Entering into the liturgies of Holy Week, we mark the institution of the Eucharist and the gift of the priesthood and our call to service through the washing of the feet. We mark the passion and death of Jesus as we observe the liturgy of the Lord's Passion, and then we enter into the greatest day of the Church's year as we celebrate the great Easter Vigil, which brings about the impact of the life-giving death and glorious resurrection of Jesus. But again, this will be a very unusual Easter Triduum. And while we always urge you to come to the church and to share in these events, and perhaps some of you have, and maybe many of you have not, I've got good news for you. And this might be a silver lining to the coronavirus situation. Since you can't come to church, the church is coming to your house. And we will be live streaming and then eventually posting the liturgies of the Easter Triduum on Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and then again the Easter Sunday Mass. And I want to encourage all of you, especially our faith formation families, to gather together as church at home to participate in these special days and to be connected with us. As your pastor, it's my responsibility to be your guide in the matters of the faith. But again, because we cannot gather together physically, we need to be church at home. In the early church, the concept of the community gathering together was always in the home and around the family table. In that time, bringing in other Christians from the neighborhood. This year, we're being a Christian community in our own individual family unit. And it is imperative that we mark these days in the most extraordinary ways. So for the heads of households, for moms and dads, you are the pastors of your domestic church. And I share with you the pastoring responsibility within your families to keep us connected to our Catholic heritage, to identify with these most significant moments of our church's life as we enter into the Easter Triduum. And so I encourage you to make every effort to be connected, first of all, by joining us when we live stream or post our Triduum liturgies on our parish website. You can view us also live on Facebook. As well, I want to engage you to take advantage of the resources that we've made available to our entire parish family via our parish website. And I know that Amelia, for our kids on the elementary level, and Leah, for our young people on the junior high and high school level, are providing resources for you and ways to stay connected with us. I also want you parents to utilize those resources to be the teachers of the faith for your children. When you presented your children for baptism, there was a blessing giving upon the fathers and mothers to be the first teachers of their children in the faith and the best teachers of their children in the faith. This is an opportunity for you to put your teaching responsibility and your pastoring responsibility as the shepherds of your domestic church to work. I also want to offer a special word of encouragement to our RCIA community. This is supposed to be the climax of your reception into the church through baptism and confirmation and Eucharist. And for Jose and Alondra and Blake and Sharon, we want to let you know we have not forgotten about you, that you continue to be in our prayers and our thoughts as we approach this Easter celebration, and that when this situation is resolved, when we are on the other side of the coronavirus, we will indeed prepare to welcome you into the fullness of the church through baptism, through confirmation, and through Eucharist for the first time, that you too will have a place with us at the table of the Lord. These are incredible days. These are extraordinary days for us as a people of faith. But they are also very challenging days for us as a global community as we deal with the seriousness of this pandemic of the coronavirus. So I encourage all of you to do your part to stay connected, and especially to do your part to be family. I would imagine with all this stay-at-home time, it can get a little tense sometimes under the family roof. And so it's imperative that we all exercise a little more patience and understanding with one another. And as we approach the coming celebration of Easter, that we invest ourselves in following these days through our church's liturgy, in being a family at prayer, and being joined together to that which defines us as disciples of Jesus, that we who have died with Christ through the waters of baptism will rise with Christ in the resurrection. We don't have to wait to the end of time for the resurrection and the life. It is ours when we look out for one another, when we care for one another, and when we love one another. So I encourage you to join us as we enter into the Easter Triduum, to walk these days with faith and hope, and ultimately with joy, and that we do our part, not just as a church community, but as a global community, to do what is necessary to stem the spread of this virus so that we together can get to the other side healthy and happy, so that we together can look forward to that day when we will assemble together in the flesh as the body of Christ in our parish churches. Be assured of my prayer and support for each of you and your families and all those who are dear to us. Be assured to as well of the fact that we will continue to reach out to you through means of social media. Don't hesitate to let us know how we can be more available to you. So stay safe, stay holy, wash your hands often, and be engaged in these most significant days. God bless you as we journey through this Holy Week together.